Hey, this is René Remsik, and you're listening to the Hatsmack podcast.
You are listening to conversations with misfits, mavericks, and trailblazers.
Hey, welcome to the Headsmack podcast. My name is Paul Pavolny, and I am excited to have another misfit with me. I have René Remsik, and he is a content creator, educator, and builder with AI personal brand and faceless pages that have 2.3 million followers and get 30 to 50 million monthly views. How you doing, René?
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm doing awesome.
All right, I'm looking forward to this conversation. René is from the area that I originally came from. My roots are from Slovakia, and he has done some amazing things online. And so it's great to connect with kind of a fellow countryman, I guess.
Yeah, and for the fellow Europeans that are listening, I would say ahoy.
Ahoy! All right, man. Well, the bio and what I read in there, the 2.3 million followers and 30 to 50 million monthly views. I definitely want to talk a little bit about that. But before we get started, what I like to do is I like to kind of start a little bit with your origin story. Hear a little bit more about you. As you can see on my wall, I like superheroes. I like origin stories. And so tell me a little bit about René. Tell me how you can go as far back as you want, how you got started, where you started from, and where you're at now.
Okay. Me too, actually, by the way. I grew up, as many boys watching the superheroes. So I'm on your side with that. And yeah, regarding my journey, it's been wild the past few years because let me tell you, I've been trying to do something special, like, achieve success in work, not like in general health or whatever, but like specifically, work business, ever since I was like 14, 15 years old. And only the past year or two, I can say I finally did it because I've been just trying. I started actually Forex trading when I was 15.
Oh,
And I've been
wow.
doing that. Yeah, I've been doing that for many years, thinking I'm just gonna be the best trader in the world. But yeah, markets have a way to humble you at any time. So after I learned I'm not gonna be a trader, trading with a leverage of 1 to 100 or even 1 to 500,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just I just stick to investing in crypto and stocks, which works. And later on, I tried even multi-level marketing, that also failed really bad. I tried building an app with my friends. We were like 17. We had a great like idea for a finance app, which there are tons of them right now. Back then, it wasn't saturated like today, so it was a great timing. But none of us could, write code, so we were screwed basically,
Right, right.
and that didn't move anywhere. And then came time, graduating from high school, go to college. So I tried building websites. I built in WordPress. I tried building like a marketplace for buying and selling Facebook pages and all kinds of, crazy ideas. But
Yeah, yeah.
nothing really worked out. And I was at that time I was still trading. I found crypto when I was like 19, I think. So almost like 10 years ago. So I was also doing content back then, but it was like simple posts. I think one of my first attempts at content were when I basically started Forex trading at like 16. I think I still have that Facebook page. It's called Trading with Rene. It's like a shortcut from my full name, and that's how I started making content, simple posts. And that's been going on for many, many years. Then, I was I was also a financial advisor because of my passion for finance at like 21, 22 years old. Been doing a copywriter, blogger for a few years as well. So I also gained some experience from that,
Yeah.
which led me to here. Actually, and I was also very passionate about art always. It's a kind of a weird combination of finance and art. But
Yeah.
I was doing
Very
both.
two different sides of the brain. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wrote, actually. I had a few years when I was just writing books. I wrote and published 3 poetry books. I was in a band. We recorded some songs, even put it online. Yeah, we still have many songs, and I still play, but just for fun, not for a
Yeah.
career anymore.
Yeah.
I did paintings, actual paintings I still have. And, so it was always a lot of fields that I was in. I was trying to do finance, art, content creation, basically marketing. So there wasn't really a focus. So,
Yeah.
trying too many things.
Right.
And yeah, then I was employed in some companies when I was like in early 20s. And when AI came, that was probably the last time when I was employed, because I started using ChatGPT as a blogger, So suddenly
Yeah.
I was working, instead of 8 hours, I was working 4 hours and using my free time to do kind of side projects and all kinds of hustles.
Yeah. Now, what
So
were you
that
blogging at
was
that time?
it was a financial startup called Investro, and they were just trying to become this next, I don't know, Finance Yahoo or whatever website for financial, all kinds of like trading, investing, SEO articles, news. So, but that failed because they didn't want to focus on revenue at all from the beginning. So it went bankrupt a few months after ChatGPT came out. But
Wow.
luckily, I started making videos a few months before that ended, because I was telling them, like, we need to start making content more, not just post on Twitter, but actual reels. Reels were the way to go in 2022, 2023, still today. They didn't want to, so I just started my own page, called AI Trends with a Z,
Yeah.
.xyz. And that's how my personal brand basically started. I grew from 0 to maybe 10K or 20K followers on Instagram
Wow.
in like a month or 2. And yeah, then I was laid off, and then I was just reliant on making it on my own ever since then.
Wow. Wow. And so when you launched that on your own with that website, is that what your primary way to generate traffic? But what was your way to make income?
Yeah, that was initially the main goal, the AI directory, because I knew this is like a great thing to have. And I was right. Now we have thousands of these AI directories. I
Right.
just didn't have the SEO skill at that time to grow it like really good. My most of my traffic really came from social media, and it still is like today.
Yeah.
I still have that directory. I still improve it from time to time, but it's not like the main source of income and the main business. So I just focused more on growing the personal brand. So, in the first year, it was survival mode, just looking for ways,
Yeah.
like what
Yeah.
works, what doesn't. The second year was finally like freelance mode, I would say. I could make an income, I could make a living, but I was doing everything: editing, designing. It's been crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for the past year, I've been finally like lucky to, grow the income so nicely that I could hire several people. And now we have 4 people in the team, and I'm hiring the 5th one from March. So I have a
Wow.
person for all kinds of tasks, and they're super helpful. So I'm grateful to finally
So
have a team to help.
what was the pivot that you made that finally got it to be profitable? What was the moment that changed everything for you?
Mm, Honestly, it's hard to say, because it was just this continuous growth. When I got to 30,000 followers, I could make like 1K, 2K euros per month from brand deals and stuff, but I didn't know how to do affiliate marketing, digital products properly at the time. So I was very reliant on that. But when I did coaching with Clark Gary, not sure who knows him, but he helped me. I did like 1 month of coaching, and I started networking with other creators at that time very like often. And I think that was one of the things that really, really pushed me to another level. And I just improved my content. I increased my rates, and for the first time I was able to make like maybe $6,000 in a month at only like 60,000 followers. So that was kind of nice. And
so with those people that you networked with, what did they share with you, or what did they change about the way you were doing things? What did they give you that made the difference?
well, before I was just trying to make videos and somehow make it. So it was this wild card, trying to get lucky. But then I started looking at it more strategically. Like, for example, I started using DM and comment automation on Instagram to collect leads, to just send links to people to get more sales. So that was like one thing. The other was really focus on the little things like the hook and make sure the video is good and like raise your rates. At first I was charging like 100 or 150 euros per reel for sponsored reels. Then I was like, okay, I can increase that. So I went to 250, then 500, 1,000, etc. So getting yourself in the right circles is definitely one of the biggest game changers.
Yeah. Now, with the reels that you were creating, how were they generating income? You mentioned brand partnerships. Explain that to somebody that might not know what that means.
Yeah, like classical influencer, because when you have a following, you promote a brand and they pay you for it. And I try to do it in a very natural way. And so it's a fit. I'm not going to promote some gambling website or skincare products because it's not fit at all. So when it's
Right.
an AI tool that I could even use myself, that's like the best fit. I love when brands that I actually like and use reach out to me. They pay me to promote them, and I'm their actual user.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
that's the main thing for me.
So it's very different from, say, affiliate marketing, where you get paid by people that actually buy a product. That's where your pay comes from. The brand partnership is you get paid simply by mentioning their service, right? Is that the difference?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's where most creators and influencers start. And once they kind of understand the whole ecosystem, they start generating income from several. So, and it's the same for me. Like, I started with brand deals. Then I, increased, sorry, my income with affiliate marketing. Then I also started doing digital products. And now I'm investing also in getting income from softwares. We started building our own softwares, and it's still an investment, but I believe it's also gonna be part of the future income because we built like three already, and we're working on the fourth one right now.
Well, and I definitely want to get into that, because creating software now has gotten so much easier than it was when you first tried creating your finance software years ago. But for the person that might be listening to this that is in a similar journey, you got your viewers and followers up pretty high. What do you attribute to getting that many followers? Because there's people that are creating content, they're trying to get more followers, more people interested in them. What do you feel it was a secret ingredient to get you to that many followers?
It's a lot of things, but mainly it's growth content. When you understand what's growth content, you can never go back. It's just the type of content that's kind of general and a lot of people that will watch it will enjoy it. Because when you start a video with a specific focused hook, like on realtors, on how to get, better deals or whatever, it will never get enough views. It will always be like a few hundred views, maybe a few thousand. But when you focus on growth content and the hook is kind of a general in the video itself too, a lot of potential followers are lying there, So one of the most viral video for me was definitely comparing tools, where I'm like in the video twice. It's like a cloning effect, and I would just compare tools 2024 versus 2025, and that got like 30 million views across all platforms.
Wow.
Yeah, it brought me like maybe like 100,000 followers, maybe even
Wow.
more.
Yeah.
And there are several videos like that, and that's just growth content. It doesn't work always, but you just keep pushing and trying, and
So
then
when you
that's
talk
just
about
video.
so
I
when you
also
talk
do
about
that on Facebook and
oh,
other
okay.
platforms.
Yeah. So when you talk about growth content, what does growth content mean? Is it insightful? Is it informational? Like what is growth content? How do you define that?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to define, I would say. It's a mix of several things, but it could be definitely the tool comparisons. A lot of people know this style. So you do like, now we were doing 2025 versus 2026,
Yeah.
or it could be paid versus free. So you're comparing these kind of tools, or you simply find content that's just gone super viral and you recreate it, so you possibly can also go viral. Or you just, when you find the content that works for you specifically, that could also be growth content. Just doubling down on what works. That's the simplest strategy.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so AI was probably the biggest thing that triggered that phenomenal growth. And so, AI has morphed quite a bit in the last few years. It seems like it's been around for a lot longer than it has. And the amazing growth that we've seen from, was it the end of 2023 that it first became publicly accessible? I think ChatGPT was the end of 2023. Is that right?
Late 2022.
Yeah, okay. So late 2022. And suddenly, it's just everywhere and everybody's talking about it, everybody's using it. So what do you see as the biggest difference? You mentioned that you're probably creating a video on 2025 to 2026. What do you see as the biggest changes that have happened since last year?
Oh man. Well, the first angle would probably be the quality. Like the tools just really got good.
Yeah.
Sure, everyone saw that in image, video, music, sounds, like text. Everything just gotten really, really, really good. If we even look at the Will Smith eating spaghetti benchmark,
Right.
now the latest videos are just super realistic, and we got Cdance 2.0 coming out. So we've reached the point where like all the content from these new models just look real, sound real, and is just so good. So that's probably the biggest difference. And that's just 3 years, right? It's crazy.
Right. Yeah.
Just thinking about it. From I would say, like, from the content comparison, the saturation is also insane. Now it feels like every fourth or fifth person influencer is doing content about AI. When
Yeah.
I started, it was just maybe a couple thousand people making videos. Now it's literally anybody, and the
Right.
algorithm is made in a way that it pushes out new accounts often and doesn't really care about the following anymore. So it makes it even more challenging for people like, me, that have the personal brand, have the following, but there's just always challenges because you're challenged by new competitors that, found new tricks that make it work better. And yeah, then we have less views, etc. But Yeah, that would be probably the biggest difference, like the saturation. There's too much of everything right now, so standing out is just honestly
A lot
hard.
harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what kind of things are you kind of strategically looking at doing to stand out? Because, you have 2.3 million followers. You get, 30 to 50 million views a month. That's still pretty impressive. But, like you said, the algorithms, you'd think that'd be your friend, but, the algorithms fight against people that kind of brought them to where they're at. Like you said, they're pushing out new accounts ahead of, bigger accounts, which is kind of, it almost seems unfair because you've worked so hard to get the followers, you've worked so hard to generate content, you've been putting out content, you're learning how to do content, you're doing all this stuff, and then suddenly somebody that just started an account gets more activity and gets pushed out there. So strategically, what are you looking at doing to get yourself noticed a little more?
Hmm. Okay, so there are several things I would point out. the Probably the first main advantage I have compared to the new creators that are blowing up is I have experience and team. So they have to do probably everything on their own. So it's only a matter of time, until they burn out or whatever.
Yeah.
And because I have a team, I have consistency. I am not afraid that I won't have something to post. I have, content to post on, of course, all my accounts, all social media, almost every single day. So the volume is the main advantage, like having the team that can help you bring the volume. Volume is
And
key in
consistently, right?
content. Come again?
And consistently, you're able to generate it consistently, whereas a solo person, they've got to balance it with maybe their full-time job or maybe that, something else that
Yeah,
they're doing.
exactly.
And so that's a
And
difference too. Yeah.
that would be main thing, because right now, like, I have a designer for carousels and all kinds of design. I have a copywriter, so like she's preparing my posts, threads, newsletter, and I have editor for videos. So I have like only the quality control overlook, and they just help me prepare everything that I want. So that's the big advantage. It would be hard to go bankrupt in the stage where I'm at. Like, fingers crossed. I'm hoping it's not gonna happen, but I'm having the best month right now in my career, revenue wise. Also, kind of views wise, I would say.
Yeah.
But two things I would tell other people, like what works for me. I already mentioned it. When you find something that works, double down on it. So if you find a video format that worked, try to recreate it in several different ways and post it. And post it on several platforms, not just on one. Never just on one. You are
Yeah.
potentially losing views. And what also works is just posting the same thing over and over again. Because,
Really?
yeah, when you post something and it went viral, it doesn't mean everyone saw it. So when you post it again, it will show to new people. Some people that saw it maybe like just scroll by, but it will still show to new people and they will engage. So I did do that on, we just recycle some content. And it's not just showing to new people, it's also that people forget. So if you
Yeah.
post
Yeah.
something valuable that you've posted 4 months ago and you post it again, they maybe will remember like, oh, I think I saw it, but I forgot to use this, and they will just save it again, comment, like, whatever. So even just reposting the same thing, doesn't matter if it's funny or educational or informational. If it worked one time, it's most likely to work again.
That's really good. And so so social media doesn't dox you, or they don't flag you as repeating the same content. Do you slightly change it, or is it the exact same word for word, pixel for pixel?
I mean, it depends from platform to platform, but what I was saying definitely applies to Threads by Meta, and it applies to Facebook. There it worked for me, and I'm sure it's also Instagram, because I remember I posted one like image of, I think it was like 50 best AI tools. I posted it like 3 times, and once it had 2 million views, then it had 1 million views, and third time it had maybe 500,000 views.
Yeah, yeah,
Same thing. Posted like 1 month, then second month, and third month. So there are some breaks between the content as well. So
yeah,
I don't know on which platforms this doesn't work, but I think it works on most, because the social media platforms really look at only engagement, and so if it's engaging, they will just push it,
yeah.
and just make sure it's not some spammy content that
Right.
they could block.
Right. Well, one of the things that I've noticed too is, especially on Facebook, is that if you go to your details about a particular post, you see how many people actually it was pushed out to. And I've got, you know, not near as close followers as you do, but when I look at comparing how many followers I have and how many followers actually saw the post that I posted, I think we're under the illusion that if I post it, everybody sees it. All 6,000 people that are following me see this post. Every time I post something, everybody's seeing it. And none of those 6,000 people are liking my post. What in the world? Well, if you look at the data, you actually see that Facebook has not showed it to that many people out of everybody that's following you. And so even if you do post it again, as Rene was saying, that Facebook the second time might show it to a very different audience. Or one of the things that I've noticed, it's kind of funny because I've seen it happen several times, is somebody would post something controversial. They might have posted something about the Super Bowl, but they didn't specifically reference the Super Bowl. They just kind of made this controversial comment, and it shows up on somebody's page 5 days later, but they don't have the context of this was written about the Super Bowl. This was written about this particular thing that was happening on that particular day. And so they respond to it thinking that it's referencing something that was happening more recently. And so one of the things to keep in mind is, Facebook especially will recycle your content and show it later than you actually post it sometimes. And so, you can't get a really actual read for it. Like I posted this yesterday and only got, X amount of likes. Realize that Facebook is going to probably recycle that post itself for the next week, and it's going to show up on people's feeds a week later. And so I think even keeping in mind what kind of content you post and how relevant it is, that it's not going to be seen immediately. Am I getting that right, or am I totally off?
Yeah, like it always depends on the type of content, but if something goes viral, it can just go and go for several months. Some
Yeah.
content dies in like 5 hours. I have posts that have 20 likes sometimes, even with almost 300K followers on Facebook. Sometimes we're just wrong and it fails,
Yeah.
but sometimes the videos can be going. I have actually one video on Instagram that I posted in July 2025, and until this day, it's getting comments. You
Wow.
know, half
Wow.
a year later, it's people still comment to get the link I mentioned in the video.
Yeah.
So yeah, the more viral, the longer the show goes on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I've even seen some people, and maybe it's a glitch that worked previously and doesn't work anymore, but I've seen some people that have gone back on previous posts and commented on it just for it to get re-put back into the uh, algorithm, just so the algorithm reflags it of, oh, this is still an active post, 3 months later or whatever. I don't know whether that's still happening, but I've seen some people do that, where they've just said, well, I'm just commenting on this post just to get it back into the flow of people's pages.
That's hard to say, honestly. I don't know if it would be that easy. I think everybody could do it.
Yeah.
It seems like there are certain strategies regarding social media that people kind of make up and they're not, they're not verified. It's
Yeah.
hard to verify this one specifically, and
Yeah.
I would be skeptical about it. Like, they have their own algorithm how it works, and all we can do is just post and see what works and what doesn't, and play with the data. But yeah, that's a wild card.
Yeah. So you've mentioned threads. What are some other, like, I don't even think about threads, and maybe I need to think about it a little more because I pretty much ignore it, because it was kind of Facebook's, something against Twitter, something to fight Grok, or fight X. And so
Yeah.
what social networks do you feel are working, and what are the ones that you're getting the most return on for posting content there?
Good question. And it's hard to figure out for people in the beginning. But honestly, it first, like, you have to think about like what you're trying to do. Are you a personal brand or a business? If you're a business, the best place to be is probably X and LinkedIn. And if you're just have a brand, like personal brand, then the other social media like Threads, Facebook, and TikTok, etc. But of course, as a person that runs a personal brand, I am everywhere. I'm
Yeah.
on 7 social media platforms. So when I do reels, I post them on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. And when I do threads, they get posted on X, Threads, and Facebook. So I always, like, 90% of my content always goes to at least 2 to 3 platforms. Sometimes, like, I post something that goes only on one platform, but mostly I always repurpose, and that helps with the volume, which I was
Yeah.
talking like earlier, which is very important. So if you're posting something on Facebook, you can post the same thing on Threads, usually. So why not?
Right. Now, are you using a
And
tool to do all this posting, or are you doing it manually, or somebody on your team is
yeah,
doing it
it's
manually?
a combination of many tools. But I have my tech stack. But I forgot to mention, what you asked. So for me, probably like the platforms that have the biggest return on investment for me is Instagram, number one. And recently it's been Facebook, because it really helps for brands to show them, I have not just 300K on Instagram, but also on Facebook.
Yeah.
And regarding the tool stack, so I know there's millions of tools right now. you can
Yeah.
do anything, and any tool has 100 alternatives. So I highly recommend you to just pick a few that will be like your main tech stack, depending, on your goals and where you want to post and what you want to post. For me, for example, I do a lot of written content. So for that, I use Claude, and I have trained projects there. I use it even to reply to brands. I train the project on how I want to reply, even with links, and I don't even have to prompt it. I just copy, paste the message there, and it gives me the reply, and I send it to them. This is how I save time. And I have projects for script writing, social media captions, and even advisors for my software companies to ask them about anything regarding landing page, help me write emails. I just always feed it with enough data so it knows what I want, without, instead of just classic opening chat in ChatGPT or Claude.
Right.
So Claude is like the most important tool, probably, or Gemini. A lot of people were switching from ChatGPT recently to Claude or Gemini, and that's for a good reason. I also use a writing tool, Viral Sky, that I created myself, and I also use it, for story posts and threads. It's been working really well. Like, I'm getting millions of views on these posts, and now I started using it for my other faceless page. So I was at first testing it on my personal brand first. Now I'm
Yeah.
using it for another account as well. You just enter a topic, click create, in 10 seconds, check if it looks good, and post it. Easy as that. Then I have content generation tools. So you should have at least one platform with all the image and video models that are new and the best. This is how you will differentiate yourself if you're not using the free models, but like the top-notch, models. And that could be Higgsfield, FreePic, Hilo AI, or Imagine Art. They all have the best models for video generation, like Google VO3, Sora 2, or image models, like Nana Banana or GBT from ChatGPT. So definitely have something for writing, then for the content generation, videos and images. And then I also automate, of course, my DMs. That's a lot of people probably know this. You can let people say, comment banana, and I'll send you the link. You set up the automation in ManyChat, for example, but I switched to Boo Send because it's much cheaper, and I have 3 Instagram accounts under one profile, and there's no like ManyChat charged me because I went too viral, so they charged me like $250 in 1 month.
Wow. Wow.
It's based on the number of messages, and in Boo Send it's fixed monthly subscription. So if anyone using like this kind of a tool, totally recommend Boo Send or other alternative with fixed
That's
rate
Boo
per
Send,
month.
BOO Send, or am I misunderstanding that? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to Marco. I know that founder, by the way. So they're really good.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're gonna kill ManyChat because they've been expensive. And other tools I would say is also you need to have some kind of a link in bio, right, with all your social media profiles, contact, possibly media kit, your offers, anything like that. So I use Beacons for that for right now. Let's link in bio and digital store, but I can also use that in Beehive where I have newsletter. So maybe I'll switch later. We'll see. And these are like the basic tools I think everybody should have when they want to create content in 2026 and further.
So in posting to the different platforms, instead of doing it manually, you have a post and you want to send it to Facebook and Threads and Instagram and TikTok and X and all of that. Do you have a tool that you use to send to all those channels, or do you have to do it manually because they're very different content? Like, what do you recommend for something like that?
Honestly, we mostly post manually because in these tools, these scheduling tools, it's mostly for posts. So when I try to post a thread simultaneously on X and Threads by Meta, it will just fail most of the time, and it doesn't post on Threads, or it posts wrong. It posts the thread as separate posts, so then I have to delete it. So it's pain in the ass, honestly. So we just manually. If I didn't have team, I would just do it and do it. But thankfully I have, so they just do it. And right now I'm exploring a new option that would be helpful for that. And regarding videos, I could schedule it too, but usually I invite other accounts for a collab on Instagram. It's usually my accounts or friends' accounts or clients, and that feature wasn't available in the scheduling tool as well. So that also brings me back to posting manually. But this will be a priority for this year, because it's taking a lot of time to be posting it everywhere. You have to set up the automation on Instagram as well. So that's where I'm right now, but hopefully I will find a tool that works well in this area.
Now, when you mentioned something, and I want to circle back to it, is you mentioned posting threads on X. So explain to somebody that I think I know what that means, but explain to somebody that might not be familiar with that term what that actually means.
Okay. So, I mean, nowadays, articles are also getting popular on X, and creators are even getting paid for it if you get enough views. But if you want to post it in a different style, which is a thread. It's basically a short post, which is a hook itself, and then all the content is kind of a hidden in the post. So when you open it, it shows the thread, all the mini posts in that thread, basically. Did I
You mean the
get that
comments?
correctly?
You post in
Yeah,
the
it's basically
comments? Yeah. Okay.
like comments. Yeah, and you can do thread on Facebook too. Not many people know this. It's not officially threads, but it's still like you do the hook, can add an image, and then you create the thread by adding the comments. So I think this format on Facebook is like working really well, and it
Yeah.
got me to 300K along with my viral reels.
Wow. Now, with all that attention, and you've kind of mentioned this, and I want to make sure that we make it clear to somebody that wants to look at, okay, all right, I want to get attention. I've got attention. How do I turn that attention into income? And so you had mentioned a couple things. You mentioned affiliates. You mentioned brand partnerships. Is that where the income comes from, the attention, or are you now doing other things that generate income from the attention?
That's a perfect question, honestly, because a lot of creators don't understand how to monetize, and it's very important so you can stay in the game. If you look at the biggest creators in the world, like what are they doing? Mr. Beast. He's making money from YouTube monetization. Then he was doing also brand partnerships. He's still doing that. And then he launched his own brands. So this is definitely a way to go. It also depends like what kind of an creator or influencer you are, right? But if you're a business already, like a restaurant or a cleaning business, it's the simplest thing. You just need to get views and you will get leads. But for
Right.
creators, we have to build out the personal brand get followers and build out our offers, in the process. So I would say, like, if you have expertise in something specific, you can create your offer first, like coaching or digital product, and then start making content and just try to get it to people. But if you don't really, and you're kind of figuring it out, just start making content in a niche that's interesting for you, and you will build out the offers along the way. And this is how I mentioned, like, I started with brand deals. My first video was promotion for a brand for like 50 euros. It's coffee money, but
Right.
back then it was amazing feeling.
Yeah.
So start with brand deals, and while you're doing that, you can also start doing affiliate marketing. This is kind of underrated. It wasn't working for me really well in the beginning, but now it makes like a few K maybe in passive income without doing any extra like work. I just found funnels like where to put the links so it gets clicks all the time and just someone buys always. So
Yeah.
affiliate marketing, definitely worth exploring. And by the way, we're launching our own affiliate platform. So if you want to find tools to promote, you can go there. If you just check my social media, you will find the link there definitely. And then I would say digital products are one of the best things. You can create simple PDF, masterclass video, or coaching program. Have a newsletter that you can also monetize, where you put your offers, brand deals. And one other great way, which we're doing right now, is launching your own softwares. So I'll be honest here about vibe coding. It works. You can create basic versions of any kind of a tool, thumbnail
Right.
maker,
Right.
some writing tool. You can, and you can monetize it. But if you're not a programmer or you don't have a developer that's working with you, I don't think it can ever be a really, really good tool, because there's a lot of tweaks that you have to do. So
Right. Right.
that's kind of my angle, because I told my co-founder to quit his job back in late 2025, so we can go just full time on this and just really ship the best software that we can. And this is how I believe like you can have an additional income. Work with a programmer or developer if you have an audience to which you can, promote it to. So these are
Right.
like a few main ways I monetize, and a lot of creators can monetize. And of course, then there's also like I would say physical brands that you can launch, like through dropshipping or whatever. If you have audience, I think anyone can, launch their own chocolate brand or
Yeah.
blue light glasses, just anything.
Yeah. One of the things that you mentioned there is the vibe coding. And, it's still kind of in its early stages. It's not even, I don't think if it's even a year old. Maybe I'm wrong there. But one of the things that you highlighted that I think is the problem that it has right now is, yeah, unless you're a programmer, unless you're somebody that understands how the thing is built and can look at the back end, look at the matrix, behind the behind the stuff that looks pretty, you're going to be limited, because I see a lot of people talk about, hey, you can, use vibe coding to build out a website. And it's like, well, but how do you swap out the image? How do you put your own face in there? How do you swap out, for your product? How do you swap out this? And that's where it's getting better. But right now it's not that easy. And so even with creating apps, you might be able to vibe code an app, but if there's tweaks, it's not that easy. It's still a little complicated to make those minor tweaks, especially with AI, because AI, sometimes you ask it to do a minor tweak and it'll like do this crazy thing. It's like, wait, that's not what I wanted to do. I actually wanted you to just
Yeah.
change this one thing, and now you changed everything. At least that's what I've experienced. I've experienced that with images, in trying to create an image. Hey, just change this one thing in this image, and then it spits back something, and it's like, no, you changed everything. You totally messed it up. And so I think we're still in the early stages of that, as you pointed out, is, vibe coding is amazing. I haven't tried it myself yet, but from what I see, it's just amazing. And people are creating apps and they're saying, yeah, I created a website and I created an app and everything. But it's like, yeah, but when it comes time to update it, tell me how that goes. And, let me see how excited you are about it then.
So true. And from what I've seen, like the best opportunity in vibe coding is not trying to vibe code tools, but have a vibe coding tool,
Yeah.
emergent, lovable. Many of these tools reached 100 million ARR in like under a year, or have digital products around vibe coding, like how to vibe code, or coaching programs around vibe coding. Or you can also actually use like vibe coding, not just everything around it, but for like simple websites, simple tools that you can, even sell. I think there's still a lot of people that have businesses, traditional businesses, barbershop or whatever, and they may not have a website. So you can just copy paste all of their information, that about that business, put it in emergent, lovable, or other vibe coding tools, give it a reference of design, how you want the website to look like, and it can create a beautiful website in under 5 minutes. It will cost like $1 or $2 and
Yeah.
token cost, I think, and you can sell it, for a couple $100 at least.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. And I think the other use for vibe coding in the place that it's at right now is in creating quick prototypes as well.
Yeah.
If you've got an idea for an app, is you can vibe code an app, and then you've got a literal working model for it that you can then test in the market and see if the market actually wants something like that. And if it does, then you could look at, okay, now I need to figure out how to create this in a more scalable version. And I think the same is with the website. I think with the website, you can quickly launch a website using one of these tools that are out there that'll give you a website very quickly. And for some, it might be a temporary, it might just be a funnel, it just might be a landing page that you can quickly put to market, something to test. And then if it works, then you're probably going to have to look at a way to create a more scalable version that is going to grow with your company. Because at some point in its current form, it'll hit a limit. It'll hit a place where it doesn't work anymore as you need, as you scale. At least that's my feeling right now.
But yeah, you're totally right. I totally forgot about that prototypes part. Yeah, that's one of the most popular use cases probably. And
Yeah.
also like a sales page, you can also like copy paste some information about you, I don't know, about your offer that you have in a Google Doc, and just say like create a landing page for me about that. So yeah, I totally forgot about that, and that's a good point.
So one of the other things that we've kind of talked about, but I want you to dive deep into, is something new that's kind of come on the horizon. Is OpenClaw,
Oh yeah.
agentic AI content. Agentic stuff has been around for a little longer, but OpenClaw has suddenly become the thing that anybody within the AI realm is now just fawning over and excited about and talking about and warning about and all of that stuff. So what's your experience with it? Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, that's been wild. Only it was like a month back, right, when people started really talking about it, and the CEO already joined OpenAI. I think this is a big deal, and it will be the focus of 2026 and further. But my experience is limited here. So my developer helped me install it on my computer. It's a bit technical, so I'm not a technical person, so I just asked them to help me. So if you're listening to this podcast right now and you're also not technical, I highly recommend you to just ask someone to help you with it, because it's not that easy, honestly, in my opinion. But if you do, and if you install it, definitely use a VPS, virtual private server, I think it's called, or your spare laptop. I installed it on my spare laptop, and I now tried it only on one use case, and I still didn't find like the right use case for me. I think like I tried to use it for my AI directory, and I said add a few. I have this section AI movies, so I said add more movies there. So it went on the internet, it found the movies, gave short description, long description, screenshots, picked the tags. So it did it almost good, a few of them, and then I asked like do 50.
Yeah.
But then problems came. It provided bad links, it missed on some screenshots, and it was kind of expensive. I played around in like 30 minutes, and I think I burned almost $30,
Yeah.
So you don't want it expensive as that. You can hire someone, and it will be maybe even cheaper. So
right.
one thing is safety, having it their own environment first and learn how to use it there. And the second is probably cost optimization. So you don't, burn thousands of dollars in APIs, because that's only gonna help Anthropic. Everybody's
Yeah.
using their API. And I've been saying this for a long time, but yeah, I think they already surpassed OpenAI in valuation, or they're very close. I think they're at like
Wow.
600 billion. It's crazy.
Wow.
And
Wow.
simply because they have good models. So now I'm in a stage where I just tried to cost optimize. I switched from Opus Pro, I think it's called, our Opus 4.6, the model that I used that was expensive. Then I tried Sonnet, and it was a bit cheaper, but honestly, it feels like the Sonnet model is like a high school kid I have to guide, and he's not sure what he's doing.
Yeah.
And the Opus model is like a senior, so
Yeah.
he even
Yeah.
like suggested things on his own. It was almost perfect, but it was too expensive, and
Yeah.
that cheaper model, of course, wasn't that smart. So it's a kind of a tricky situation. I don't want to
Right.
spend
Right.
$50 or $100 a day on just API. So yeah, that's my experience for now, and I'm hoping to find a way to cost optimize it efficiently, so I can use it for a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah,
What-
yeah.
Did you try it already?
I haven't tried OpenClaw. I've played around with Opus 4.6. I've played around with Sonnet just to create some content. For what I was creating, I really didn't notice a huge difference in what it brought me. I'm not a power user by any means. I haven't tried OpenClaw just because I don't have the time to mess with it. And I know for a lot of people, they got super excited about it. They loaded it on their main computer and it did some bad things. It did some very dangerous things, very scary things, very expensive things. And so I haven't really wanted to mess with OpenClaw. For me, it's just, I'm an early adopter by nature. I mean, I'll jump on. I got the first iPhone when it came out, the first iPod, all of that stuff. But when it comes to AI and the power of AI, I'm a little more wait and see. Wait until it just matures a month or two, because it's changing so rapidly. I mean, even OpenClaw has changed names multiple times. And so for me,
Yeah.
I'm just going to wait this AI OpenClaw out a bit. Now, when ChatGPT came out, I was all in and jumped in and was playing with it nonstop. But with things like OpenClaw, with the amount of power something like that has, I'm just kind of let me just wait this out a month or two as it kind of levels out and gets a little more mature. People kind of make the mistakes that can afford the mistakes, and then I'll probably jump in. Now, I haven't jumped into agentic AI. Have you jumped into it? And tell me your experience with it.
That makes sense, what you're saying. Also, like, you can wait around a few weeks and see uh, and learn on people's mistakes and
Yeah.
then on your own. And regarding agentic AI, I wouldn't say I have a lot of experience, but there's like one tool that where I use it often. So it's called, I mentioned it already, it's called Hilo AI. And there's this agent feature where you can like give it a prompt and it will create more images. That's what I consider agentic, because it doesn't just create one image, but I can create like 10, 20, 30 images from one prompt. I
Oh,
can
wow.
create, yeah, I can also create videos like that. I used it to create a Coca-Cola ad just for fun, posted it on Facebook, and over 100 people commented like they want to see the tutorial. So then I made it. And, it's because normally you have to generate image by image, and it takes a lot of time if you're making any type of content, because there's always an image or video that doesn't feel right. You want to change something. So
Yeah.
if you have the power to generate 10 at once, that's great. Or I used it, for example, for article images. We have some articles, SEO blogs for our tools, and I didn't want to give this task to the designer, not to spend too much time so he can focus on other things. So I just wrote a prompt, like create 8 article thumbnails. I gave it an image reference of the design style that I wanted it with, and then I gave it the titles for each image, which were usually like 2-3 words, and it nailed it almost perfectly, like in my
Wow.
opinion. So I feel like this is a great use case, and it also works for videos. If you're making a faceless video, anything, it will generate 10 8-second clips, and you can then prompt it, put it all the videos together in a file, and it will download you the 1 minute something file. So
Wow.
that's
And what was that
probably,
AI? Can you spell that out? What was that?
it's HAILOUAI, that video.
Okay. All
Hilo,
right.
yeah, it's a Chinese company. I think they're also own Minimax Audio. It's a 11 Labs alternative, and they have all kinds of image and video models inside of the tool, including Nana Banana.
Wow. Well, man, Rene, this has been a wonderful conversation, very insightful. Congratulations on all the success with the
Thank you so
2.3
much.
million followers and 30 to 50 million monthly views. That's amazing. It's awesome that you've been able to monetize that as well, going from charging $50 for a brand partnership or whatever it was that you mentioned to now the success that you're having and bringing on people and all of that. That's pretty amazing. One of the things that I like to do as I wrap up the podcast is to just ask you, is there a question that you wish I had asked you or a head smack that you'd like to share before we wrap this up?
Question. Honestly, maybe something related to AI, but I can't think of anything specific.
That's okay. So
Maybe
I kind
like
of just dropped that on
what
you.
should
Yeah.
people do, what should people do nowadays to get into AI?
So what should people do nowadays to get into AI?
Just start now, today, not tomorrow. Because a lot of people, I get it. The world is a crazy place. We are all busy. You have kids, you have job, etc., etc. And now I have a full-time business, and I find it hard to find time to explore new tools. So I just set out a time every week to explore. And for me, it's usually Mondays, where I'm energized after weekend,
Yeah.
And Monday after evening, after dinner, I have several hours where I just play around and I just do what I want to do. I let the brain, on fire and explore new ventures, new tools,
Yeah.
anything. So find a time like that throughout the week, at least in one day where you can.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, thank you so much. And if people want to get a hold of you, they want to learn more about you, I know you mentioned also that you're building software. You have several websites and several products out there. Tell me how people can get those products, and tell me a little bit about how to get a hold of you.
Sure. If you just Google my name, or search it on any social media, René Remsik, or AI Trends with the Z, you will find me. You can take a look at my content on any social media platform you want, or DM me on Facebook. And if you want to try our writing tool to also try create viral posts and threads in seconds, just go to viralsky.ai, and you can use the code go viral together to get like your first trial just for $1 for 1 month. And the
That's
other
awesome.
tools will be like in my bio, but this is like the main one I would recommend everyone to start with. It's simple, easy, and the plans are even affordable, like from $5 a month.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'll put some of
that's
those
the best way
links
to
in
start.
the show notes as well. You can of course go to his beacons.ai/René Remsik, or Remsik. There's no SH in there, and you can find more links in there. Try Sky Snail, or is it skysnail.io?
Yeah, that's also our tool. Sky Snail is a thumbnail tool for YouTube thumbnails and reel covers.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Rene. This has been a wonderful conversation. I appreciate you sharing your story and sharing your insights and your experience in going from a very few people paying attention to you to a lot of people paying attention to you. Congratulations on that.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. And don't forget to start.
You are listening to Conversations with Misfits, Mavericks, and Trailblazers.